Howdy folks, how are we all doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're all keeping safe and well in this crazy world we're living in. And today I'm going to have a look at the Ostara Elinor 2 10x50 binoculars, which are available to purchase in the link in the description below. These replace the previous model that was a group test winner in the BBC Sky magazine for binoculars of this specification in this price range. And so these can be quite easily obtained for less than £200, and you're very welcome if you want to do that with our website. They give 19mm eye relief quoted, I'll come on to that in a second, 5m close focus, 114 meters at 1000 field of view, the nitrogen gas filled BAK4 prisms, fully multi-coated optics, and lastly, surprisingly, 940 grams. Now at first that might seem like a heavy binocular, and I had to check with the scales to make sure they were that weight. But when you pick them up, they balance really nicely in the hands. They do not feel 940 grams by all means. That's often the case with binoculars. That on paper they look really heavy, but you pick them up and it just doesn't seem that they're so heavy at all. So we're coming on to the twist eye cups which I mentioned, and we'll just do the quick test as I normally do. Fully twist it out and try to push them in without screwing them in, without twisting. They are not moving. I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on there, so they are very well constructed eye cups. Even though they're quoted as 19mm eye relief, I found that with them fully twisted out they were just a little bit too far. I couldn't quite get the full view. So about halfway if you're not wearing spectacles, and if you are wearing them, twist them in fully and you can get the full field of view. Now just before we get on to what you can see with these, just a quick look at what you get with it. And just off camera, the outer box is a colourful box showing images of wildlife and a galaxy, for reasons I will explain shortly. So this is the current nylon case. The previous one was similar to that part in the middle there, all quite glossy, but I found you could quite easily scratch them, so this is a much nicer nylon case in my opinion. You get the standard Ostara padded strap, very nice one. You get the drop down lens covers for the objective lens, which as you can see can be removed, and the all-in-one eye cups for the eyepieces. So this is where I would normally start rabbiting on about pincushion distortion and chromatic aberration, with me popping outside to have a look at chimney tops and lampposts. But I'm not going to do that because the chances are you're going to be using these for wide field astronomy. Talking of which, these really chunky binoculars, very easy to use with gloves on if you're out in the cold, and the diopter adjustment there, it's a nice easy to use lever, so again you can use that with gloves on, and nitrogen waterproof as well, so in case you're out in damp conditions in the winter. So what did I look at with these last night? Well, I turned to Orion, and anyone that knows where I live, it's very heavily light polluted, so I was restricted. And although obviously these are light enough, should you want to go for a little walk, a cycle at night, or put them in the car to go to a out in the sticks dark sky area. So I turned to Orion and I was blown away by M42, the Orion Nebula. No need for averted vision, it really was a spectacular sight. Obviously not the same as through my 12-inch Dobsonian or my 4-inch TAL, but absolutely, for such a small aperture, incredible wide field of view, and you can quite easily see the trapezium within the nebulosity. And just above that we have Orion's belt. Now you try and get all three of those in the same field of view with a telescope, unless you've got an ultra wide angle lens, you're not going to do that. I did that easy with these and the result was spectacular, because with the bright stars of the belt and the 7th, 8th, maybe 9th magnitude stars if you're at a dark sky area in the background, it gave an almost three-dimensional effect. And turning to the Pleiades or Seven Sisters or M45. Again, absolutely incredible view of those, and there's so many stars in that open cluster which you'll pick out with these very easily. A few other things I looked at, it's a little bit more tricky, but I could see them as fuzzy blobs, as we say in the astronomy trade. M37 in a rigger and the double cluster between Perseus and Cassiopeia were very, very easily found with these. But another thing that's very, very good with these binoculars is how it brings out the colours of stars. Many stars that seem white with the naked eye, you look through these and you see oranges and blues and greens. Really do pick out the colours of stars. And once you know the colour of a star, you can then research that star. You can look on the diagrams. I forget the name of the diagram, but those of you who know what I'm talking about will be shouting out now and mention it in the comments below if you want to say so. Which you can look at the colour of a star and you can find out a lot about that star, about its size, its age, its temperature, and so you can learn as well as you're going along about what you're looking at. With these, there was also a very, very good edge of field clarity. So if you are looking at a very wide area of sky, these are just what you're looking for. But also, if maybe you've got a red dot finder and you're trying to find a faint galaxy or star cluster that you can't quite see with the naked eye, use these and pinpoint it where it is. You say, oh yeah, just in that star in Gemini or Auriga or wherever, yeah, I can see it just to the right of that. Now I know where to point the telescope and I can find it easier. Not just galaxies, the brighter galaxies, nebula and star clusters. When we're fortunate enough to have a comet getting close to Earth, these again will pick it up. So yeah, I was blown away, given the light pollution from my back garden, how much I was able to see with these binoculars, and I would thoroughly recommend them. It is difficult really to fault them for use with astronomy. I'll probably do another video at some point where I'll do my normal checks about pincushion distortion and chromatic aberration, etc. on daytime objects. Very last thing to mention, you can remove the cap here in the centre if you want to put them on a tripod. Get a tripod adapter and connect these to a tripod, which is very, very advantageous when looking around the night sky. So anyway, that's a quick look at the Ostara Elinor 2 10x50 binoculars. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.